Welcome to the Scottsdale Vibes podcast. I'm your host, Alicia Haygood. It's time. Barrett-Jackson's right around the corner, so you know you're going to be here. The engines revving, the cars in line to get into Westworld, causing traffic for me, but it's totally worth it, as this is one of my favorite events of the year to really kick off everything that's about to happen. So I'm so excited today, are going to be talking cars, community, breaking barriers with Rebecca Nguyen, founder of The Warehouse and a lifelong WRX enthusiast whose passion turned into a career. It all started with the yellow Subaru in her teens, leading to one of Arizona's most unique automotive social hubs. Her story is one of grit, vision, and a redefining what a car collector looks like. But first, let's hear about our favorite realtor sponsor, Sean Shackleton. Buying and selling a home can be frustrating and stressful, but Sean Shackleton with the Shackleton Group is here to change that. With 26 years of expertise and a true understanding of today's market, Sean works tirelessly to get you the home you deserve. She really has her finger on the pulse of the different Scottsdale neighborhoods and knows the community well. Don't settle for less or get stuck in confusion. Just reach out to Sean at 480-734-7277 or visit theshackletongroup.com and make your next move a winning one. Well, I'm excited to have Rebecca Nguyen here at the table with us. As we all know, she started with the Subaru WRX that she inherited at just 16 years old. Bright yellow, by the way. Sonic yellow. Let me specify that adjective. She is sparking a passion that really led into her car shows, photography, industry events, and ultimately to launching The Warehouse, a collector car storage and social club. As a woman thriving in a traditionally male-dominated space, she's built a community that celebrates enthusiasm, heritage, and connection. With Arizona's Car Week and Barrett-Jackson right around the corner, there's no better time to hear her unique perspective on the culture of driving, really, in our state and especially Scottsdale. So let's start at the beginning. My dad has a CX, what is it? He has, oh my God, he's going to kill me. He bought it for his 40th. He's about to turn 70. A Subaru off-roadster car, and it's his baby. And it's black with gold rims.
Is it an SUV or
No.
is it a sedan? So it's probably a WRX or an STI.
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 Thank you. I cannot believe
That's what
I
we
forgot
want.
that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And that's really, like, I tell everyone the story. I was not an athlete. Cars is what brought us, my dad and I, together. It's what we bonded over. My dad is turning 70 next year. Him and his best friend buy lemons. They rebuild the motors, and they do 24-hour races as 70-year-olds.
Oh, my goodness.
Like, it never ends in our house.
That's the dream.
So that's you're
That's
getting
the dream.
So I want to know, what about this Sonic Yellow Subaru WRX at 16 was like, this is my life?
It wasn't a choice, actually, the WRX. So it was my older brother's car.
Okay.
And so then we bonded over the car. And that's really what drove my passion to where I am today, is that initial bond and how it was created because of a car. You know, it's kind of crazy when you think about it, right?
Yeah.
But my brother and I, we had nothing else in common. But then this car, he taught me how to drive on it. I always saw him driving around in it. And whenever we got to actually talk to each other was when we were driving in that car. So really, that car created these, core memories that I would never give up, right? And I now have so many core memories because of cars, because of that car, because of now this community we have created.
But that's so interesting, because cars you have to have a passion for it to really understand it, to get into it. So it really was just the memories that you and your brother had. Mm-hmm. Now that went from, how did that go to the next car, to the next car, to the next car? So now this is my life, kind of thing.
So I'm kind of a weird collector.
Okay.
So I'm one of those weirdos that it gets sentimentally attached to a car, and I keep it, right? So I still have my Subaru. Of course. I've had it since I was 16.
Sonic Yellow?
Yeah. I've modified it since then.
Okay.
But it is still true to its original nature. And I've had other cars since then, but I kept to that one. I kind of stick with a car for at least 3 to 5 years. And I haven't really purchased a new car to kind of replace that weekend car until as of last year. So I just purchased my first Porsche 911. It's a 91 964.
Wow.
Very clean, simple OEM plus kind of car. But I think the passion for me is really in those connections. So I've more so collected car friends than cars.
I like that.
Yeah. So I kind of changed that collecting nature into more about the bonds and everything else. And that's really what created The Warehouse.
How many cars do you have currently?
That's a good question. Personally,
I love this question.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars and a motorcycle. And then my husband has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars and a trailer. So We're full, let me tell you.
I guarantee you'll find more room when another one comes up that you want. Yeah.
I tried to promise myself I would never have one in the backyard, and I currently do. So.
What is it, do you think, makes the car community so unique? I know I understand there's one of those things. You have athletes that bond. You have, all those kind of genres. But like car collectors are unique in that sense. You don't have to know a lot to be accepted in, I feel like.
Absolutely. I think what's great about the car culture is that it is a mutual icebreaker. So we get people from all walks of life, right? And every kind of level of life. I've been able to encounter friends that are getting into their first sports car. I have friends that have 9, 10, 11 sports cars that are worth more than what I'm worth,
Yeah.
So I think what's beautiful about car culture is that you can be any level of enthusiast, but as long as you have an interest to learn, you'll find common ground amongst each other. And then we encourage that, which is nice, and then the other side of our interests start to come out after we get past we're both into cars kind of thing. And then we start to learn that, there's other things we have in common. And that's a beautiful kind of natural, organic reaction.
Yeah. Well, you said it yourself. You went from car collector and car enthusiast to really people that are car enthusiasts and car collectors. So that speaks to what you were saying. So what is it about these new friendships and bringing in cars and talking about cars, and how does that turn into the warehouse besides just storing your 12 cars and motorcycle in a trailer?
So the warehouse is an environment that makes it easier to connect, right? So beyond having the cars to talk about, I'm creating the right environment in which that you can talk about it, right? So there's, I curate certain specific cars that have a good story that you can stand and talk about for the next hour or so. Or we create activities where you can bond over things, like we do a Lego night. You bring your own Lego and we'll build together. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a car Lego. You want to bring, the succulents Lego, that's fine. But then we can talk about cars.
Yeah.
And beyond that, it creates a community where we're already, the second you walk through that door, we have that like-minded understanding that we're not here necessarily to see who has the most in cars or the most in value. It's more about, hey, I'm here to have a good time. And I think it's nice because it's a little different. It's kind of a market gap right now, and it really created an opportunity for me to create the warehouse, is to find people like me that are more interested in the connections that we can create with the cars versus maybe the car itself.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It's a male-dominated world, let's be real. But I will say more and more women are breaking into it.
Absolutely.
And it's not. And it's educated women. It's women that actually know what they're talking about. And I'll say it's sexy as hell, but it surprises men in that sense.
Yes.
How did you break through, and how are you continuing to break through and bring other women into it with you?
It was hard to begin with, to be honest. Because we tiptoe that line of what's authority versus what's, what people use the B word for. So it was hard. It was. And it was hard to get people to understand and take you seriously when it comes to having that passion for cars. It doesn't click initially, which I get it. That's how society was dictated before. Things have changed. Mm-hmm. And there's a ton of women who have helped change that narrative, that kind of subconscious understanding, so like Lynn St. James is an amazing individual. She's really helped shift that dynamic, but shifting the dynamic is hard because it's more fragile for us to do it than for a male to do it in this industry. Mm-hmm. I will say though, I've come across a ton of male mentors or coworkers who have assisted me in shifting that narrative.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, and that definitely helps.
Yeah.
So
sadly, but
right. It is what it is. Yeah.
Yes.
I try not to think too deep about where we're at
because
the
at the end of the
moment.
day, you want the accomplishment done. You want that goal.
Exactly.
And I'm with you.
Let's think about the future. Let's not linger on
Correct.
Where we're at. I understand there's a lot of complexities there. So it's really just encouraging other women too, and being that support, just like how Fresh, supported me and what I'm doing and acknowledging what we're doing. And, so it is tough, and I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to take that step forward and have the people standing behind me.
What do you see is changing in the industry more to allow more women to come in to make space, or really just accept that we actually know what we're talking about? And I say we, I don't, but I'll pretend.
And we're all in the same kind of understanding, to be quite honest. I think people assume that, every male that walks into this automotive space knows what they're talking about. But there's plenty out there that I've come across that, admittedly will say, I don't understand, this about this side of things or this type of car and so on and so forth. So I think having that open communication really helps. But I think really taking that step and encouraging people to acknowledge that, hey, you may not know everything about this thing, but that's why we have this environment that we're creating so that we can have that conversation and we can grow together.
It goes back to, I want to bring this up to follow off that. Right before we started recording, you were talking about how your husband's the engineer of cars and knows everything like that. That's not your specialty.
Yeah.
I think that speaks volumes because we do feel, at least I would think, I have a problem having conversations about cars because they'll be like, oh, it's like this many RPMs and this is the motor. And it's like, that means nothing to me. Like my brain can't function that way. But we don't need to know that. That's not what you know. And 100%. Yet you're still, can talk about cars. So what's the difference in kind of that in the mentality?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the environment again, right? Okay. So I'm not going to go to the track and say, I understand track dynamics. He'll talk to me about acronym and all that stuff, camber and all that tow and things. I'm like, I understand kind of like what it does to the car, but not how it translates to the racetrack. And people that, when you walk into it and you admittedly say, hey, I don't understand this, they love explaining. They love explaining. And I love listening, And so, it is nice when, that you have two different, maybe even 4 or 5 different types of enthusiasts. You get the ones that knows every detail about every single car from a certain manufacturer, or you have the one that just generally loves a genre of car, an era of car. Okay. Like some are more on the 90s or more for, like the 70s, 80s or the hot rods, So dynamically, there's so many different types of car enthusiasts. Okay. And I think that's why I love what we do at the warehouse is because we're very inclusive. We're not only about exotics. We're not only about JDM cars. We're not only about hot rods and so on and so forth. We're a little bit of everything, which is fun, right? And in all honesty, at the end of the day, we're just trying to have fun. Yeah. And let's keep it that way.
I agree. What is your genre of cars knowledge that you would go in and talk about?
I'm still learning, to be honest. Like, I've had a lot of people ask me, like, what's your dream car? It's like, I don't have a dream car. And that's kind of weird. That wasn't my
question, so I'm glad you already answered it.
Yeah. And I don't have a dream car because I really haven't experienced enough to understand what my dream car would be. So, for example, I bought the Porsche more for a marketing tool. And I've come to love it more than I thought I would, which kind of sucks because now I want to keep it, right?
You said you get emotionally attached to everything.
What a first world problem, right? And it's true. And my son, it's like his favorite car. I have pictures with him.
You're done.
Now I'm stuck.
You're gonna give him that one like you got the Subaru, right?
Yeah, exactly. But then I'll love a car that has preserved to factory condition. But then I also love a car that's custom built in someone's garage, and so I think it's really, again, going back to I love the stories. There's so much that comes out of cars in terms of, memories, core memories and things like that. Like you said, you had core memories with your father. Like it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So as far as genre, I think right now I'm kind of all over the place.
I love it. But I think that's the biggest difference. Going back to your husband loves the engineering aspect. You're the emotional aspect. You're the storytelling. You're the why behind all of that,
Absolutely.
which fits everything.
Yeah.
I love that. Let's talk about the car week, the auctions. There's so many car events here in the Valley. What makes Arizona so unique to the car culture here?
That's a great question. I think we're also, as Arizona car culture, we're still figuring that out, which is exciting because we can really establish who we are in the car world. Barrett-Jackson really has owned Arizona Car Week, but we really didn't start calling it Arizona Car Week until like last year.
It's very recent.
Right. Yeah, 100%, which is almost a shame, because, Barrett-Jackson's been doing auctions here. We used to have Gooding and Company. We used to have Worldwide Auctions.
We still have Good Guys Car Show comes in.
Yeah, Good Guys does. Not for Car Week, but...
but they still come in and town and do stuff. Yeah.
But as of right now, the only auctions we have that come is Barrett-Jackson, Bonhams, and RM Sotheby's. And it's a real shame because we used to have 5 or 6 auctions. But the great part is I think the locals who have kind of lived Barrett-Jackson Week for a long time is starting to realize, like, hey, there's an opportunity here to really not capitalize, but maybe establish.
Oh, for sure, capitalize on it. Yeah,
that we have a strong culture here. So I've been working with a good friend, Darren Roberge, on trying to establish more of a narrative that this is Arizona Car Week, not just the week of Barrett-Jackson.
Yeah.
So now, as of last January, this recent January, we've really pushed to have other types of events during the car week to really establish a car week nature.
Yeah.
And obviously we're pulling inspiration from Monterey Car Week, with having, they have something every day, if not 2 or 3 things that happen during that week. So this coming up January 2026, we've got big plans. The warehouse is doing a week-long automotive art gallery. Yeah,
very cool.
We're pulling in 4 different artists, 4 different types of artists. And they're pulling in their automotive art, and we're doing a week-long exhibit. So it's going to be open during the day, and at night we'll do various events that we have yet to announce. So yeah, really excited about that.
Such a tease. I hate that. I'll take it. You got started really young at 16 years old. You found that enthusiasm. What's some advice that you would give to young enthusiasts?
I think take it slow. Honestly,
I know.
Honestly, take it slow. There's so much to learn, and things are too fast paced right now. And I think the internet does what it does, right? I think just take a moment, really, ground yourself in that you have a lot to learn, and you're not going to like what you like now in 10 years, likely, and if you do, power to you. But there's just so much to learn, and there's so much out there as far as, again, we talked about the different types of enthusiasts and the different types of, manufacturers and things like that. So really take your time, ask questions. We as I guess I would say older enthusiasts, but
experienced, established.
Yeah, okay, let's go with that. Experienced enthusiasts. We're not trying to prove anything right now. Right now we're just trying to enjoy, getting to this point where we can, have the expendable income to have these special cars, or a lot of these cars are milestone purchases. My Porsche really is my milestone purchase, and I'm more interested on what that inspires you to do. And we're very interested in, where your future is and things like that. So, slow down, just, take it in. Nobody needs to prove anything, and I think be careful with social media.
I mean, isn't that the truth?
Because, we deal with a very interesting concept right now with, takeovers. I don't know if you've seen anything like that. And speaking to Arizona Car Week, we're trying to be very careful with avoiding takeovers, avoiding anything that may hurt our car culture here.
What do you mean by takeovers?
There's unfortunately been kind of a shift in how people are approaching some of the more public events, and it's really just a lot of crowding, a lot of showboating and things like that that can ruin a public event. So if you really love to see what we have to offer during Car Week, it's really just try to be as respectful as possible, because the city could easily just say, you know what, we're not doing this anymore, and we're trying to be
an enthusiast,
100%, and we're on that tipping point, just let's not encourage that type of behavior. Let's be very respectful. A lot of these shop owners, landlords, and stuff like that, they don't have to accommodate us. They don't. And the city of Scottsdale is very accommodating to what Barrett-Jackson does at Westworld, and some of the other auctions. They're at, I think one RM is at the Phoenician. So again, we're managing these relationships with business owners, landlords, and the city. So we really need that respect to be apparent.
I love that, and it's true. What is one of the favorite cars you've ever driven?
Oh, that's a hard one. Oh, man. So I used to drive press cars. So I was able to drive a variety of cars. But my favorite one was the Lotus Evora GT.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that was, again, a press car. So I was in journalism for a little while. And while I was in Monterey Car Week, I was lent from Lotus, the Lotus Evora GT, and oh my gosh, it's like an everyday supercar kind of car, and it drove like a really planted go-kart with luxury feel, and at the end of the day, it's a Toyota engine, which is kind of bonkers to me, but it was a beautiful thing. And of course I was driving it around Big Sur, so it's like I think any car you drive around Big Sur is going to be your favorite car.
What color was it?
That's bright blue.
Okay, I was gonna.
Yeah,
I
it was
could
beautiful.
picture yellow for some reason.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
The Subaru is the only yellow car I have.
I know.
swear.
So kind of the same thing. Like we get press cars and stuff like that too. We got an Aston Martin DB12 a few months ago.
That's cool.
And speaking of my dad, he literally flew out here from Georgia just to spend the weekend with me. Right. And I was
conveniently
like,
timed.
Yeah. And we ended up doing it. It was like right after his birthday and stuff. He's like, Alicia, I could never even be around this car cheaper than a plane ticket kind of thing. And so he's one of those. And I was like, do you want to drive it? He's like, I'm fine. You know, of course we got him in and it was fun.
See, core memories.
Again, you're right. You're so right.
It's just a tool for memories.
It is.
It's
and
great.
It's so easy and basic. And my dad's the engineer type, and I do not keep up with that. I cannot understand. We will literally be driving around town, my son and I, and when we see like nice cars around Scottsdale, we'll take a video and I'll just send the audio to my dad to see if he can guess the car. He 99% of the time gets the car right. And
I can't do that.
Nuts. And he's like, look at this YouTube video of it. And it's like, I didn't need all that. I got a picture right next to me.
I love that though.
But even my son's 11. He's an engineer brain. He doesn't care about cars, but he loves to understand the aspect of racing. So my dad and him will sit down and watch F1, and my dad will explain to him the engine and why it works in the motor and why the car works that way. So even him being able to talk to my son that way and bond, again,
love
the
that.
core memories. I didn't have any thought about that.
It's always there.
What is your favorite Scottsdale vibe?
Ooh, that's Scottsdale vibe. Well, maybe this is too specific, but there's a Cars and Coffee I like to go to, and it's in Scottsdale. It's at 4 till 4.
Okay.
So big shout out. I think Nico is the owner there. Big shout out to what he's done with 4 till 4. It's a very casual Cars and Coffee. It's kind of, he doesn't really advertise it, which is fun. It's like, if you know kind of thing. So
almost for a true enthusiast.
Right. And so I love going there because the atmosphere is great. It's in, Old Town, and the cars that come out are always great, and then there's always that mutual understanding where everyone's just really chill.
Yeah,
like we've never had to have like any sort of off-duty cop there or any sort of staff even to like regulate. Everybody just knows we come, we drink coffee, and we have a good time, and then we leave.
Yeah,
so
I love that.
Yeah.
What cars do you take? Do you take a new one every time? What is your most? Do you have one car that you take out more than others?
Well, unfortunately,
and I don't want to say it's your everyday car, but like those cars, yeah.
So, I have the two cars to pick from. Right?
Okay.
So I have my Subaru, my WRX, and then I have my Porsche. I would love to take the Porsche every time, but being in Arizona, I haven't gotten the AC fixed yet. So I'm like sitting over here with like a six-figure car. So now is a great time, so I'll take the Porsche.
Okay.
And they do a Porsche day. So every weekend is a different theme. So the first weekend of the month is always Porsche themed because this is a fun fact that most people don't know, but the coffee shop is called 4 till 4, which is 4 minutes to 4 o'clock is 3:56, and the first Porsche 911 was a 3:56. I know.
See,
it's cool, huh?
That is really cool.
So it's fun because sometimes I'll be standing in line getting a cup of coffee, and there'll be people who stumbled on it because they knew it was a coffee shop, and they're like, "Why are all these cars here?" I was like, "Oh, well, here's the backstory." And so then you start to introduce people into the culture, and it's interesting because car people are coffee people, and then car people are culinary enthusiasts. So it's like again going into that. The icebreaker is the car. Everything else comes after.
I love that.
Yeah.
What are you looking most forward to for Car Week this year?
I really want to see how the market's doing, to be honest, because of course, if the market is vibrant, so is my market, right? From a business standpoint, our business model at the warehouse, it's a social club, as well as car storage, right? So it's a want more so than a need. So I'm very interested to see what the market's like. But from a standpoint of experiential, what I'm looking forward to is really seeing how the community will elevate from this past January. So there's a lot of new shows, a lot of new open houses that have happened in the last Car Week that I'd like to see how that grows. One specifically, it's called Young Motor Company, I think it's called. It's a new boutique dealership in Scottsdale. And they did their grand opening this last January. So I'm really interested to see, what they choose to do, how the business has grown. They're a big supporter of the warehouse, which is awesome. And there's a few other car shows I saw kind of pop up. There's one that was at a woodworking facility. That one was really cool.
Yeah, they advertised with us in Scottsdale City Lifestyle.
Oh,
They're
perfect.
amazing. And Leah, I love them. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
So
I brought my kids to that and we hung out. We had the best time.
That's awesome. Yeah, what a cool environment and a tie. And what a great way to advertise their services. I mean, that's a perfect crossover, right? Who would have thought? So kudos to, I think Darren was also part of that, and the owners of that facility allowing us to do that. So I'm really excited to see that come back. Hopefully it does. So yeah, seeing those crossovers and the dynamics kind of shifting to where, we're really bringing in that artistry factor in these experiences. Yeah.
I love that. Well, I'm excited for, we could sit here and talk forever and ever. I love your enthusiasm, but I love how easy it is to talk to you and not feel intimidated. But that's what we're doing in the car industry with women in general, right?
Absolutely.
So go try. Go check it out. There is the Art House Collective at the Warehouse is January 20th through the 25th from 10 to 5. We'll have all of this information in the description of the website and description of our episode and on our YouTube channel as well. And don't forget to go check out the Warehouse there as well. We have some events coming up, but first, let's talk about our favorite State Farm agent, Jeremy Mueller here in Scottsdale. Life moves fast in Arizona, as we've been talking about with these cars, and the last thing you need is to wonder if you're covered. That's where Jeremy Mueller Insurance comes in. With over 25 years in Scottsdale and 3 local offices, Jeremy and his team know exactly what coverage works best here. From home and auto to life and business insurance, they've got your back every step of the way. Exceptional service, reliable support, and reassurance. That's Jeremy Mueller Insurance. Don't wait. Connect with Jeremy today at jeremymueller.com or give him a call at 480-515-5223. Well, if you're not going to the Warehouse Art Show, go to Barrett-Jackson as well. Do both. We'll be out there. Tickets are on sale now, January 17th through the 25th. You also have the Arizona Concours de Elegance, brought to you in partnership with Scottsdale Arts. That's happening Sunday, January 18th at the Scottsdale Civic Center. Not just a car show, it's a celebration of design, heritage, and style set against the desert's shimmering backdrop. And then don't forget, as Scottsdale starts to celebrate the 75th anniversary, it's a week-long celebration of Scottsdale Western Week happening in Old Town Scottsdale, January 24th through February 1st. Events include the Trails End Festival, art exhibits, and the Parada del Sol Historic Parade, which I will be in, so come and see me and share your spirit for the Wild, Wild West. Have a wonderful week, Scottsdale. Keep vibing, and I'll see you around town.